Hello. Today we're going to be working on a problem-solving lesson for 8.8. And our strategy that we're going to be focused on is to use logical reasoning, which means we're going to really just be thinking about what makes sense. Okay? Marla used flour, sugar, and brown sugar to make a treat. Use the clues below to find the amount of each ingredient she used. The amounts were 3/4 of a cup, 1/4 of a cup, and 2/3 of a cup. She used more flour than sugar, and she used more sugar than brown sugar. Okay, so it sounds like we have some things that we need, some facts that we need to write down. So Marla used more flour than sugar, and more sugar than brown sugar. What do we need to find out? We need to find out the amount of each ingredient she used. Sorry, misspelled. So let's go ahead and continue. Our plan is going to be to use logical reasoning to solve the problem. To solve the problem, we are going to order the ingredients from greatest to least. That's what it asks us. The greatest to least. So we need to look and see. Okay, so the greatest number, I'm looking at 3/4, 1/4, and 2/3. The greatest of those three is going to be 3/4 because it's almost a whole. And the 3/4 is the flour. And then the next one that she used, well, I know that it's between sugar and brown sugar, and it says that she used more sugar than brown sugar. So the sugar is going to be here, and brown sugar is going to be the least amount of ingredient. So the greatest fraction is 3/4. That's the flour. We know that. Then we're looking at 2/3 and 1/4. Which is greater, 2/3 or 1/4? Well, I know by recalling my benchmark of 1/2 that 2/3 is greater than 1/2. So I know that 2/3 would be the sugar and 1/4 would be the brown sugar. And does that make sense? Yes, it does. Yes, the amounts of the ingredients hope you don't mind if I abbreviate, ingredients match the clues. And that's a perfect explanation for that, okay? All right, let's go ahead and look at example 2. All right, it's exactly the same type of a problem. It's going to be ordering ingredients. So let's take a look. Amir is making salsa using tomatoes, onions, and black beans. Use the clues below to find the amount of each ingredient he used. The amounts are 1/2 a cup, 3/4 a cup, and 1/3 a cup. Think of those benchmarks that you already know. He's using more tomatoes than black beans and more black beans than onions. Okay. So the facts that I know is that he used more tomatoes than black beans and more black beans than onions. So I've already ordered them by ingredients. And what we need to find is the amount of each ingredient. So my plan, how am I going to, what should I do? I'm going to solve this using logical reasoning. That's what we did on the first one too, just really thinking about it and making sure that we understand what those amounts actually mean. And then we're going to solve it by ordering the ingredients from greatest to least. And so I know it needs to be tomatoes, then black beans, then onions. Oh, I guess I should have gone like this instead of commas. Okay, so I'm going to look back at my fractions. We had 3/4, 1/2, and 1/3, and the greatest of those fractions is 3/4. It's bigger than the 1/2. That's my benchmark. So 1/2 would come right after that. And the smallest of those, the least, would be the 1/3. So I can label those by saying this is the tomato, this is the black beans, and this is the onions. And that puts them in the correct order. Does your answer make sense? Yeah. Yes. The amounts match the clues. So just really think about your benchmark of 1/2. That should help you to decide the order. And then think about what the problem tells you. And it's saying like more or less. That should be helpful to you. Good luck.